Yo, what's up guys, Neon Blitz here, back with another Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra video. I'm a bit late covering through this, but I figured this shit would be fine. I'm late to covering that they have officially announced a second Gekishin Cup team. If you're unfamiliar with this is an in-game tournament that you can enter either in a team or by yourself. And you're basically competing against other players to really rank up in this leaderboard. And depending on how high you place in the leaderboard, you'll get special awards. And as you can see here, we have solos, special tournaments in each of the servers of South America, Europe, North America, and Asia. And then we have the same servers but for squads. If we can go to North America, you can see role rank for damage, tank, or technical is at least E3, consistent for all of them. Gekishin rules: fight for Dragon Balls with Gekishin rules, destroy the enemy's Dragon Shell, get the Dragon Ball, shows the bosses, score battle, win a battle, steal points from other players, pile up points, and aim for the top. It's consistent with all of them. Seems like everything's there. I believe there's actually an in-game turn notice about it. Enter solo, one-player team up with a squad of 4 players to battle on the Gekishin rules to earn points. This time you earn a lot of points for victory, but you still earn points after a loss. So I did not compete in the first one, but it sounds like in the first one, if you lost, you got 0 points. You only got points if you win. This time you're still getting something for losing because there's a time commit. Because this is a limited time thing. I believe it lasts like 2 hours. So you have until the 24th to enter, and these last until like pretty much like an hour, right? Like they last 2 hours, right? On 25th or 26th, depending on your 25th if you're playing solos, 26th if you're playing in a squad, and you must be E3 or higher in one role, and it then tells you how to enter it. If you're curious about the rewards that you potentially get from this, you'll go to the North American one, rewards. Depending on how, just for participating, if you do 1 battle, you get 3 P4G capsules. If you participate in 3 battles, you get 5 P4G capsules, which I believe accumulates with this, so you should be getting 8 P4G capsules. And if you compete in 5 battles, you're getting 3 SG capsules, which I know we just got 28 from the long game bonus, but you can never have enough. And then depending on how high you place, if you get top 1,000, you get 3 P4G capsules. If you get top 500, you get 5 P4G capsules. If you get top 100, you get 5 SG capsules and a little badge to put on. If you get top 10, you get 10 SG capsules, another sum to put, and 3,000 Zenny. If you get third, you get 5,000 Zenny, 10 SG capsules, and a special badge. If you get second, you get 10,000 Zenny, 10 SG capsules, and a silver badge. And then if you get first in the overall rankings for your server, you get 30,000 Zenny, 10 SG capsules, and a gold badge. Now, if you want to complete to enter this, you just gotta press enter and compete. If you want to sign up for your squad, you're going to have to first get, your entire squad that's going to help compete with you and a party, and then you're going to enter it together. Only the host can submit entry. That's how you're going to enter the squad for this. But there's one interesting fact that's coming out of this that it has a decent amount of discussion and a lot of things to kind of talk about with the game, which, I already showed it, same game message. Battle format. Gekishin rules, no divine draw. Which is really interesting because even in ranked, it's, Gekishin School Battle, or Gekishin Squadra, I forget what exactly I just called it. But, obviously, ranked we had Divine Gekishin rules, no Divine Draw, which, ranked is Gekishin rules, Divine Draw. So that means with no Divine Draw, you will not see any of these Divine Draws during that 2-hour period that the Gekishin Cup is ongoing. What does this mean for the game's future? Are they testing, no Divine Draws for ranked? Are they maybe thinking about it, seeing if players prefer no divine draws, or if they should stick with divine draws? Because this is an in-game tournament for 2 hours, so see if we can get the furthest in the leaderboard. So this does have some competitiveness to it. Are they testing no divine draws? I think this is less them testing it and more they are aware that players do not like squeaky hammers, and especially in squads, how absolutely dominant the squeaky hammer would be, because this would essentially just turn into who was able to roll squeaky hammers the most. That's what this would turn into if they had divine draws here. If you're a solo player, do you get you get more squeaky hammers than the enemies and actually have teammates that know what they're doing? Because if you're in solo, it's all solos. Or if you're a squad, do you get more divine or squeaky hammers than other teammates? That's what this would turn into. It would turn this into an RNG fest of just, are you able to roll squeaky hammers more than any other player or squad? So that's why I believe they're not doing any divine draws here. But it's an interesting discussion, Is there a future where maybe in ranked that they do not allow divine draws? The whole reason the system exists was because in the initial beta of Project Multi, one of the common complaints was the games all felt pretty similar. You know, there's a very limited character pool. There was only 10 characters in that beta, and in the first week, there was only 7 playable unless you were very meticulous with your star collection progression. So having 7 characters in the initial beta really makes the games feel especially the same, considering you're going to be seeing 4 of those characters every game. You know, you had 2 tanks with Vegeta, Super Saiyan Vegeta and Zamasu. You had 2 technicals, Krillin and Majin Buu. And then you had Goku, Piccolo, and 18 to pick from the damage. Trunks, Kid Gohan, and Cooler were either you were super meticulous with your star collection, even then you couldn't get them for the first couple days, or you waited to the second half of this beta where they finally made them playable. So I guess that's what's contributed to them. Or a lot of the complaints that the beta was, you know, very repetitive, that there wasn't much variance in the matches, and because of that feedback, they implemented this Divine Draw system. You know, things to essentially, you know, freshen up a game. You know, a Super Start game will not feel the same as a Medical Respawn game, as a Mystery HP game, as a Squeaky Hammer, blah, blah, blah. But I think now that we are, you know, 30 plus characters into this game now, and, you know, we've seen meta shifts, we have different helpers, we've had, you know, different balance adjustments. You know, this season we're actually back farming a lot to get, you know, catch up on XP or get further ahead, which that wasn't a thing during initial betas. You know, there's been different bosses. Now we have Jackie Chun instead of 16. Maybe next season we might see Nappa replaced, or Jacko, Ribrian, who knows. This is a dramatically different game now than it was during that first initial beta. So the discussion, you know, comes, do we need the Divine Draw system? And that's a whole separate topic in a different video. But I don't think this is them testing no Divine Draws for ranked. I think this is just because they know how crazy Squeaky Hammer is, and this is just them essentially eliminating that RNG. Because I would imagine if they kept the Divine Draws, this Gekishin Cup would just turn into who gets the most Squeaky Hammers. That's all it would turn into. And especially in squads where people have communication and would know how to properly use Squeaky Hammers, that's all it's going to turn into. You're going to get 4 or 5 minute matches of people absolutely destroying the enemy teams with Squeaky Hammers and inflating their places on the rankings. So that's why I personally think they're not having Divine Draws in this Gekishin Cup. But it is an interesting discussion. You know, they're having it because of the first Gekishin Cup. Oh, you know, it was just regular rules with Divine Draws. So the fact that this one doesn't have it is interesting. If you don't know when the Gekishin Cup is actually happening, they have it for different servers. You know, it seems like it's starting on April 25th at, I believe that is 12 p.m. Well, GTC. So it started, or no, I'm looking at NA, I'm stupid. You know, it's pretty much going to start like late. It's like, at least for NA. You know, 20 and UTC, I believe, is like 8 o'clock? 9 o'clock? It goes on to 11. Yeah, I think for NA is from April 25th at 9 o'clock to April 25th at 11 o'clock. So if you want to enter, go right ahead. You know, there's free rewards just for participating. And if you do get placed in the petition, or if you get ranked high enough, you can get some more rewards. You know, always good to show summons. And yeah, I might compete this. I need to see. You know, if I do, obviously make a video on it. It probably won't be any intros or editing because that's 2 hours. But I have to see. But yeah, I think it's an interesting discussion that they might, you know, they're touching with the idea of no Divine Draws. And either way, this is something that, you know, I do recommend players compete enter. You do have until the 24th to enter, so, you know, figure out for yourself if you want to enter this, and make sure to sign up. All you got to do is just click on here and press entry, and I believe it'll just tell you, are you sure? And then, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, beating me a lot to me. Stay tapped in the channel if you want to see everything Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra, including future news coverage, more videos on Goku, Vegeta, and Chibi when he comes out, so what's any other potential news you need to know for the game. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!